Welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to Big Mouth Live. And tonight we clarify the future of the DCEU. I've already got a question here from the Gaming Maniac. Now, I don't know if he's online yet, but I'm going to read the question and read it out. So, the VFX guy working on Flash is saying his overall design for the film will reassemble his work on Snyder's Justice League. Any chance you think Zack Snyder's Justice League will work its way into DCEU canon, Mick? Gaming Maniacs, up, Mick? What's up, dude? Right, let me answer your question. Jeff Hill, hey, BM. Hey, Jeff. So there's every chance, the Gaming Maniac, that with what DJ has said, the VFX supervisor from Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut, is true. It's factual. I know a lot of the Snyder cultists are trying to say that this is all black, but it's not. So there's every chance that Zack Snyder's Justice League will be canon for a short minute during the film. But here's the thing, because I'm going to read you back what Barbara Machete said last year at DC Fandom and pay close attention to this. The Flash Barbara Machete says DC movie restarts everything. Ever since Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck's official casting for Warner Brothers Pictures' upcoming Flash movie, DC fans have been speculating that the Ezra Miller-led superhero film might be one to reset the whole continuity of the DCEU films, especially when director Andy Muschietti previously confirmed that the film will be adapting the famous Flashpoint storyline. During the fan Q&A sessions at yesterday's DC Fandom, producer Barbara Machete addressed this fan theory by teasing a new detail about the long-in-development film. Well, I want you to go see it, so I'm not going to tell you a lot, but what I will tell you is that it's a ride. It's going to be fun and exciting, and there are a lot of DC characters in it. A lot of DC characters in it. So we underline that. So there's going to be a lot of DC characters in it. Flash is the superhero of this film because he is the bridge between all these characters and timelines. Timelines, plural. So all these DC characters are from different timelines. She's blatantly said it in this piece. And in a way, it restarts everything and doesn't forget anything. Let me repeat this. And in a way, it restarts everything and doesn't forget anything. So they're going to reboot the DCEU to make all these timelines DC canon, DCEU canon. So even if Zack Snyder's Justice League was to be reset as canon for a short while this film is active, while the film's going, but once Barry Allen, I nearly forgot his name, once Barry Allen reboots the universe, then it won't be canon anymore. But this is not a personal thing about the Snyderverse, as people are taking it. Everything, she's literally said it, everything, it timelines, and in a way it restarts everything. It restarts everything, right? Not just the Snyderverse, but everything. So we're starting from scratch with a multiverse timeline, right? So all these DC characters she's teasing are from multiverse timelines. They will now be canon, including the characters of the DCEU, but they're rebooting the universe. So the Gaming Maniac, even if Zack Snyder's Snyderverse was canon in this film, for example, resetting the VFX to be exactly as it was in Snyder's movies, it doesn't really matter what's canon, what's not canon, because by the time this film finishes, they're rebooting the universe. By rebooting the universe, nothing's canon anymore. And I think this is why they didn't give a shit if Wonder Woman 84 or Birds of Prey hit or missed, because they knew they were resetting the universe. Do your fucking worst, they said to Margot Robbie and Patty Jenkins. Do your fucking worst. We couldn't give a shit because we're rebooting this universe anyway, right? We have to appeal to a broader audience. There's going to be multiple DC characters from different timelines, as she's teased here. They're going to be canon. The existing characters are going to be canon. But the timeline, the storylines are going to be rebooted. And my prediction is at first, the DCEU characters won't remember anything. But slowly but surely, in the future movies, they will get total recall. So, Jeff Hill, are you worried, like I am, that Flash is going to be overstuffed? No, Jeff, I'm not, because I expect them to do it tastefully. Because, say, if you see Brandon Routh's Superman, it could be a few second thing. See, if you see Nick Cage's Superman, it could be a few second thing. So I'm not worried about being overstuffed. And also, I never thought Batman Returns was overstuffed, and all those characters were in it a lot. Leroy Kong, hello. DC films will not work without the Snyderverse, but Snyderverse doesn't need any rebooting. The Hamadaverse will not work. Walter Hamada and WB suck. Scott Edwards, I hope Harley is in the Flash movie. That's very interesting because we've already been teased. As I've read this from last year's Fandom, she said there will be multiple DC characters in this movie. Let's go back to this. Fun and exciting. There are a lot of DC characters in it. Flash is the superhero of this film because he is the bridge between all these characters and timelines. Characters and timelines next to each other. I don't think I read your what's up, Scott. Sorry about that. I'm a bit focused on all this, but I want to read your comments. The Gaming Maniac, what does that mean for DC movies that are getting sequels in, such as Aquaman or Shazam? Well, for example, The Gaming Maniac, Aquaman will have a brand new suit. I believe he's getting a brand new costume as part of the rebooted universe. So they will forget their past for a short while, but they will eventually get total recall of the lives they had before. Because the rebooting of the universe isn't like rebooting a movie. He's rebooting the fucking universe. That's the only way he can get back to where he was before. But things are going to change. You can't mess around with time in DC and not have some consequences, like we saw in the Arrowverse Flashpoint. But this is going to be much more severe for Barry Allen. He's going to have to, on his shoulders, will weigh the fact that he's changed everything. And that changes everything for these DC characters. So these sequels will play a part in that. So I wanted to clarify that, and I want to read a few other things as well. I want to read this as well. This is from James Gunn. TDK and Ratcatcher 2 are the original other characters, like Harley, are very much rooted in their characterizations as defined by their original creators. We use the name and some aspects of others like Weasel, but much of what you see in terms of characterization was defined by me and or the actors portraying them. Guardians was the same way. Read Groot before the movie was written. So what he's saying here is that characters like Harley are so important that he's not going to fuck with her. So he doesn't approve of what happened in Birds of Prey either. So he's going back to Bruce Timm's original works with Harley. So I've seen the film and I can clarify this is the case. So that's really exciting. The Gaming Maniac, I just really hope Flash doesn't feel like Cameo, the movie lull. I trust Andy though, great director. So although I'm disappointed in WB leadership, I have hope for him and other DC films. I want to talk about the leadership because I think there's a miscommunication in this leadership and the leadership that drove Zack away and, you know, got Joss Whedon in. I want to clarify that as well. Leroy Kong, Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot should still be around in the rebooted universe. Use the same actors and not recast. Their futures will not work. Well, obviously Gal will be around and Momoa will be around. I don't know about Ben. I'm positive about Henry, but who knows? So, and I'm afraid Bobcat isn't here, but look at that. Look at that. This is the new toy, Harley Quinn Toy. And as you can see, she's wearing her new costume from James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. And doesn't it look sensational? And I'm so excited for all of you to see this. Tonight, I want this to be a celebration of DC. And I want to clarify a few things for you so you're not so concerned. The Gaming Maniac, you say you're positive about Henry, Mick, and ooh, cool toy. I am positive about Henry. because believe you me, these people don't fuck about. If Henry wasn't Superman anymore, they would come out and tell us. Leroy Kong, WB's current leadership is a total failure. They all should go. You're going to have to quantify that, Leroy, and tell me what have they failed at? What have they failed at? Anyway, let's, I think there's something else I want to read to you as well. Also, Paul Michaelis will be the editor on Andy Muschietti's The Flash. So we've read that out. David F. Sandberg says there isn't a new logo yet for Shazam Fury of the Gods. We have the below logo on the slate, but feels like we could do something more interesting eventually. We certainly have time. So there's that. That's the clapperboard. I'm afraid my lighting is shit, so you can't see it. By the way, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace might be a film people don't like, but the original poster for the film is fucking awesome. Anyway. There was something I wanted to read, but it doesn't seem to be here. Let's have a look. Right. I want to read back what the VFX supervisor said. Right, sorry, I thought I saw a new comment on this. So, VFX supervisor DJ Des Jardine confirmed that the studio didn't get the Flash Speedforce scene and wanted it cut out from the film. Also, he said that it was one of the first things they threw out after they pulled Zack off the movie, sadly. WB doesn't understand DC. That's what the DC Syndicate said. So I want to quantify this as well. Now, he says that they wanted to remove the Speedforce scene in Zack Snyder's Justice League when Joss Whedon was working on it because they didn't understand the Speedforce. Again, let's clarify this. Walter Hamada wasn't there at the time. This is new leadership, right? And proof that this is new people who do get the Speedforce is that DJ, Zack's VFX supervisor, is going to be the VFX supervisor for the Flash movie. It means they've learned, that they understand that the links within the rest of the universe are important. And the people who made this dumb decision aren't around anymore. But Snyder cultists are using this as to say, WB don't understand DC. The old leadership may have didn't, but this leadership absolutely gets it. Stop lying. Stop trying to put a false narrative out there because it's not going to fucking work. Leroy Kong, WB are currently showing us true fans their middle fingers. I say screw WB and Walter Hamada. Hang on a minute, Leroy. What true fans? The Snyder cultists? Are they the true DC fans? What about the millions of DC fans who haven't been represented within the Snyderverse and what they've wanted? This should be a universe where everyone's represented, not just one fandom. That's very exciting. That's not exciting. That's important. I say screw WB and Walter Hamada. I would never say screw Walter Hamada. The Gaming Maniac, got to say the Speedforce scene was one of the most emotional and exciting scenes in the movie. Yes, the Gaming Maniac, and guess what? The VFX supervisor who did that is working on The Flash. What's not to like about that, right? The Gaming Maniac, I mean, isn't Toby Emmerich part of the old leadership or not? Toby Emmerich was there during Justice League and Justice League. That's true. But Ann Sarnoff and Walter Hamada weren't. Walter is the leader. He's the DC film president, right? So what he says is happening. He's putting Andy together. Andy's put DJ back into play. What else can we ask for? Can we keep on looking to the past? Or should we think by putting DJ back into play, doesn't that actually show that there's a learning from these mistakes? So we go on. So let's reread what I said earlier on the Big Mouth Daily. So the DC Syndicate also reported visual effects supervisor John Desjardins, DJ, talked about when Andy Muschietti showed him the script for The Flash. when Andy and Barbara wanted to meet with me to talk about and considering the script, I understood exactly why. So it was easy to say yes to that. So this is the important part from DJ. DJ also said that how we see the Flash in the Flash film is coming from what we saw in Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. So Andy bringing him back would mean that at least the Flash as a character has a continuity from the Snyder Cut. So again, we're seeing the new leadership of Walter Hamada and Ann Sarnoff and their man Andy Muschietti actually bringing DJ, the guy who was the VFX supervisor, I repeat, from the Snyder Cut. Do you understand that? Leroy Cohn, Walter Hamada, you have failed DC. No, he hasn't. So, I wanted to clarify that. Also, DJ said he was losing hope for the DCEU until he saw the Flashpoint script. This is Zack's very own VFX supervisor saying this. This is very good. Now, if you're saying that DJ's talking shit and he's lying, you are saying that DJ has betrayed Zack. DJ has worked with Zack for a very long time. DJ wouldn't do that. So again, to clarify, DJ, the VFX supervisor from Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut, is working on Flash. He adores the script. He came back because Andy Muschietti himself said to him, we want to connect the effect from the Snyder Cut into this film. So Andy Muschietti is a real one, right? Walter Hamada, who brought Andy Muschietti into play, is a real one. Barbara Muschietti is a real one, right? They're making the effort here. Because in a week where Zack Snyder said, whatever he said, screw you, DC, or whatever he said, right? We've got Warner Media and their people bringing back Zack's VFX guy. This is a very interesting move because it doesn't make WB be the toxic ones, does it? After all, they're connecting the Flash effects from the Snyder Cut into Flashpoint. Do you get me? Leroy Cohn, the Flash movie will fail. The Hamada-verse will fail. Let me translate what you just said, Leroy. You want the Flash movie to fail. You want the Hamada-verse to fail. It doesn't mean just because you want that to happen, it's going to happen. So we're rebooting the universe. We're going to have multiple DC characters from multiple timelines. Jeff Hill, WB spends $90 million to appease Snyder and Snyder Cut fans. WB gave that movie a lot of money. Exactly. Look, he got, I don't know if it was 90 million or 70 million, but he got money from them, right? What else did he want? They didn't want him to use that money to shoot another scene. No, Warner Media did not, Warner Brothers. Hotbeat, you're going to have to talk more clearly than that. You can keep on looking at the past, but this is happening. And Warner Media and Warner Brothers have given Andy Muschietti permission to link in the Snyder Cut with the Flash movie. What more do you want? Your agenda is failing everyone. Because what you're saying is not true. You can go back to the past and say they did this wrong and that wrong, and I can agree with you. But DJ is Zack's VFX supervisor, and he's going to be working on the Flash. Jeff Hill, for the Snyder Cut fans, if this was your money on the line, you wouldn't keep dumping money into Snyder. Hotbeat 187, I'm not looking at the past, I'm looking forward to the future. Which is Flashpoint, the multiverse strategy, multiple DC characters from multiple timelines, and they're all going to be canon in the future. This is what people want to see. And I'm not just talking about the Snyder fans. I'm talking about hardcore DC fans. They're going to get interconnectivity, crossovers. This is what people want to see. This is why the MCU is so popular. Not because Feig's a genius. The crossovers, the interconnectivity. That's what people like about the MCU. That's why people still watch Arrowverse, even though it has major issues and problems. It's the interconnectivity that people love. People have every right to boycott this, but you're not going to make a dent. You couldn't even make it. You couldn't even make Suck It WB or whatever it was trend. Think about that. Leroy Kong, WB's future will fail without the Snyderverse. They will never catch MCU. WB are fools. I think Flashpoint's going to be very successful. Because as I've just said, Leroy Kong, they will make far less money. I don't think so. Jeff Hill, I'm just sick and tired of the complaining. Can we please move on from Snyder? Well, WB is certainly moving on from him. And the rebooting of the universe is moving away from the Snyderverse. I like his films. I love his DC films. I got the Snyder Cut on Blu-ray yesterday. But that's not the point. We're moving away from it. We are trying to attract a broader audience, right? We're trying to say to DC fans that you who have been ignored, come back, because you will be part of a diverse universe, and we won't exclude you. It won't be, this is dark, this is about the real world, up you if you don't like it. No, we're going to embrace everyone. That's what Shazam was about. Families, parents and children, come and watch our movie, because DC characters are for you as well. DC is for everyone who wants to consume it, not by a few people who want everything set in the real world. Farabees 456, Jeff Hill, people just want the continuation of his unfinished series, that's all. And I can understand that, Farabees 456. I understand the frustration there. And Snyder could have got that. He could have got a little corner on HBO Max. But his conduct, unfortunately, he gambled and he lost. He wanted to run everything, and that's how they fell out. The Snyder Cut was in chapters. They were going to do Justice League 2 and 3 in chapters. But he wanted more than a little corner on HBO Max. And this is where the problem is. I expect very soon to see a Hollywood Reporter or Variety article saying, WB, speak out about Zack Snyder. And then we're going to get the full story, and a lot of people are not going to like what they hear. Jeff Hill, dude, he did the trilogy. Jeff Hill, it's over. Jeff Hill, he got his trilogy. It is finished. Yeah, listen, obviously his vision was for more than a trilogy, and he could have had that. I've just explained that. While we get the multiverse strategy. But unfortunately, I think Zack got a bit greedy. He wanted full control again. And they were never going to allow it because the Zack Snyder universe didn't appeal to a broader audience. Ronnie Dodge, hey mate, I'm moving on now. Bring on the multiverse. Cheers, Ronnie Dodge. Having a glass of water. Farabees 456, he had more. He had 5 movies in total. You've still not seen his nightmare-centric movies. No, Farabees 456 is absolutely right. There was more to come, and there could have been if he behaved. Farabees 456, I think multiverse is great. Yeah, I'm very excited. And by the way, Farabees 456 seems to be new here, so give him a big mouth warm welcome. And all opinions are welcome here, even ones I don't agree with, and I will be respectful of any opinion I don't agree with. Leroy Kong Zack was not greedy. Leroy, you don't know the full picture of what happened. I do. I know what happened. Just like I know that Zack Snyder ghost directed Wonder Woman 2017. In fact, you'd have to be stupid not to realize that the director of Wonder Woman 2017 wasn't the director of Wonder Woman 84. Pretty obvious. Farabees 456. The thing is, Zack's DCEU would have ended with an event where the DCEU slate resettled, leading to a completely new slate of movies. Yeah, like they do in the comics, Farabees 456. He even was going to do his own Flashpoint to let them do whatever they wanted. So he's spot on there. Farabees 456, we could have had the multiverse and Zack's movies. Agreed? Leroy Kong, you are Snyder hater. Leroy, I think you need to take a deep breath, my friend. Have a cigarette. Always helps me. Marcus Walker, I have sex. I have sex when I'm stressed. I'm a bit confused as to where Leroy stands, as I have seen some of his videos where he calls Justice League his favourite film of all time. Well, I didn't even know Leroy had his own channel. Well, Leroy. Here's a microphone. Leroy, is it true? Mr. Kong, is it true that you said that Justice League was one of your favourite movies? No, don't distract. We need your answer right now. Please let me know. Wow, I'm fascinated by this, Marcus Walker. Come on, Leroy, don't leave us hanging. Farrah Breeze 456, we can still have it on HBO Max while other directors do their own thing on the mainstream. I think WB wanted to do that, Farrah Breeze 456, but I definitely feel that he wanted to run the whole thing, and I think this is how they fell out, and it became a whole movie instead of episodes. I think WB did hold out an olive branch. Ronnie Dodge, mic drop. Yeah, all these weeks, Leroy Kong. And you love Justice League? Let me read this. Marcus Walker, I'm a bit confused as to where Leroy stands, as I have seen some of his videos where he calls Justice League his favourite film of all time. Wow. Yeah, Leroy, you're really going to have to tell us what's going on here, my friend. It looks like Marcus Walker has got some receipts here. Now, I didn't know you did videos. Ronnie Dodge, no, I've read Ronnie's. Farrah Breeze 456. Zack shot all of Justice League back in 2017, so he could only add minimal new supplementary material, aka Ending Nightmare and MMC. Yeah, that's true. He shot much of his bullets, as he said before, as he could, but he couldn't do any more than that. He did amazing to give us the content we had in the Snyder Cut, and of course there was more to tell. But I think a lot more happened behind the scenes because they had issues with each other, the studio and the director, during 2017 when they filmed, 2016 when they filmed Justice League. But even in the development of the Snyder Cut when they brought him back, they were falling out with him again. He was shooting stuff on his fucking driveway. And they said, Zack, don't shoot anything, right? You know, it's taking the piss a little bit. Now, I'm glad I got those extra sequences, but it is taking the piss, really. We've got to at least be balanced in our conversations. So, Ronnie, before you joined us, I clarified the future of the DCEU. I read Barbara Machetti's quote from last year's Fandom, and we just talked about the plan, really. Ronnie Dodge, the VFX guy from Justice League, was about to leave the DCEU. Then he read the script for The Flash, and he was in so mega stuff is happening in this movie. Yeah, for a VFX supervisor, and I mean, DJ is one of the best. That's who we're talking about, DJ. He's amazing. So I'm excited that he's excited for the movie. I'm excited he's involved. And of course, this is great because it kind of exposes the narrative from a lot of the diehard Snyder acolytes that WB, you know, if WB were that bad and they really hated the Snyderverse, why would they use DJ? Because he's the best. And they're not that bitter and they're not that small-minded, right? So, there's a lot going on. We are going to reboot this universe. And until we see it, we don't know how all this is going to play out. But I can bet you all these DC characters from these different timelines will definitely become canon. I think that's the point here. So they've been shooting, for about 3 weeks now of The Flash. So Leroy Kong, Marcus Walker, Zack Snyder's Justice League is my greatest movie and not Justice League. You do not scare me. Yeah, but Leroy, is it true that you said Justice League was your best movie ever? Be honest. Jeff Hill, WB doesn't hate Snyder. They're just making logical financial decisions based on the data. Yep, that's right, Jeff Hill. Marcus Walker, interesting to see how they're going to change the lightning from blue to yellow. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm no expert on colours of lightnings and things like that. It's not probably something personally to me, but we will see. Sanders and Reviews, WB don't hate Snyder, they just don't like his movies. It's not like they don't like his, it's not that they don't like his movies, they want to attract a broader audience that he can't attract. Ronnie Dodge, Flash has been filming over a month now. Okay, over a month, I stand corrected. Ash 790, Jeff Hill, tell that to the post-Aquaman movies. Post-Aquaman movie, right, okay. Although Aquaman was a cool movie, right? Leroy Kong, Zack Snyder's Justice League, my one movie, no law against that. So you didn't say that Justice League was the best movie ever then? I think we can say that Zack's movies didn't appeal to the broader audience. We can say that. And if you kind of deny that, your bias is too deep. I think we can see we went from Justice League, which was a flop, to Aquaman to over $1 billion. Explain the Aquaman movie being so successful. Zack Snyder, no, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Hotbeat 187, Mick, what do you think of Birds of Prey and Wonder Woman 1984? I think that Walter gave Patty and Margot freedom of creativity, and they fucked up. They were just too obsessed with their SJW alt-left commentary, and they ruined two very important characters. And I'm sure James Gunn will, well, I'm not sure, I know that James Gunn has fixed Harley Quinn, and Wonder Woman is going to need some serious fixing. And someone else is going to have to direct Wonder Woman 3, Hotbeat 187, because that woman should never go near, let alone a DC film again, but a Wonder Woman film again. Go and watch Wonder Woman 84 and 2017 and Wonder Woman 2017 on two screens at the same time, and you tell me if the person who directed Wonder Woman 2017 was in fact the person who directed Wonder Woman 84. No, Zack Snyder ghost directed the first film. It's fucking obvious, and she took the fucking credit and fooled all of us. Ash 790, Zack Snyder's Justice League appealed to a broader audience. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, that film appealed to a broader audience, but the other films didn't. And Zack's Zack. He's not always going to do that, right? He's still going to be doing what he always does. Ronnie Dodge, Zack's movies were successful, but not hits that they should have been. But that's why they're moving on, because clearly it didn't get general audience interested. That's true. The Gaming Maniac, Mick, I remember you saying there was a scene of Wonder... The Gaming Maniac, Mick, I remember you saying there was a scene of women robbers in Wonder Woman 84 that Wonder Woman let away. I don't remember that happening. Seems very political, if you ask me, if that's in there, lol. Yeah, the Gaming Maniac, there's three teenage young girls, and they shoplift. They're not robbers, but they shoplift. And nobody stopped them or said anything. It's like, oh, isn't it fun? These young girls are stealing. But when those guys are speeding, she stops them. The guys in the mall, she stops them, right? Ash 790, Ronnie Dodge, Shazam BOP and Wonder Woman 84 failed to gain massive audience appeal though. Yeah? But I can expose you here, mate, because Walter Hamada gave Margot Robbie and Patty Jenkins creative freedom. That's why they went wrong. And he didn't care about those films anyway, because they're rebooting the universe. They were irrelevant movies. They don't matter. Walter was involved with Aquaman, $1 billion. Shazam made triple what it cost to make. That was Walter Hamada. Nightjaw. Hey everyone, Hotbeat 187. You don't believe there will be any SJW political undertones in the Flash acts about 2017 being ghostwritten? Listen, Hotbeat 187, we are in the 21st century and there will always be SJW beats in these films, but not as blatantly as Robbie and Jenkins did, right? What Robbie did in Birds of Prey was despicable, and it's on her, right? The only reason Kathy Yan directed that movie is because she was a woman, right? Ronnie Dodge, Shazam didn't flop, though. It had a low budget, so no, not a flop. Not a flop, and made 3 times what it cost to make. You people need to do your maths. We're not on Twitter now with your fake bullshit agenda that's not even true. We're here on Big Mouth, and Big Mouth can expose any lie. The Gaming Man, sounds like more women, good men. Bad stuff, blue. I don't need to see that in superhero movie. Nightjaw, I'm hoping that the DCEU's future does have the Snyderverse carrying on alongside Hamada's vision, along with one-offs like how Joker was. Unlikely. Marcus Walker, I found the video, my favourite 26 movies of all time. At number 2 is Justice League Theatrical Cut. Marcus Walker, I'll say this again. Marcus Walker, I found the video, my favourite 26 movies of all time. At number 2 is Justice League Theatrical Cut. Well, Leroy Kong, what you got to say about that? Richie Mo, Shazam made nearly triple its budget. It's classed as a hit, but MOS made nearly triple its budget and it's classed as a failure. Man of Steel cost 3 times more than what Shazam cost to make. You've got to do the maths equally, right? Hotbeat, but the action in Shazam was shit, to be honest. Shazam was a movie for children and families. They enjoyed it. My nieces and nephews enjoyed it. The action was cool. It wasn't supposed to be epic Greek gods and gladiators. That's not what they were trying to do. They did okay with it. And I wouldn't say the action was bad. You could compare it to Snyder's action, and anyone could say that about any other action sequence that Snyder's not involved with. But that is a film for families and children, and they don't think the action's bad in it. Ash, not 790, at Jeff Hill. Snyder had a long-term plan. Johnson did a franchise-shaking one-off. Marcus Walker posted 3 months ago. Ooh. Marcus Walker, no, I've done that. Ash 790 at Richie Mo, and MOS made a ton back with product placement. But again, Man of Steel actually cost more to make than Shazam. All right? Got to do the maths properly. Leroy Kong, and one Zack Snyder's Justice League. Oh, so we had Justice League and Justice League in the same list. Marcus Walker, before it had even released, Black Panther 2 and 4, Love and Thunder are on it as well. Leroy Kong, you people do not scare me one bit. We don't want to scare you, mate. Richie Mo, they both still nearly tripled their budgets, no matter the budget. The budget matters, Richie. Just under 700 million for a Superman movie. Even if you weigh what Superman the movie made back in 78, if you look at the monies now, Superman the movie actually would have made $1 billion. Marcus Walker, I'm not trying to scare you, mate. I'm a subscriber, but honesty and transparency are important. Ronnie Dodge, did these people saying Shazam was a flop learn anything at school like maths? No, this is what they do on Twitter all day. They lie. They lie all day. They take something and they use it as fake propaganda. They think they're going to destroy Warner Brothers and the Snyderverse will be all of a sudden reinstated because of their lies and their false propaganda. But that's not how the world works. They can't even get a trend anymore because even their own people can't stand it. I know because they talk to me. Marcus Walker, yeah, I've read all of these, haven't I? Yeah. So we're up to date. DJ said that the old Warner Brothers leadership didn't understand the Speed Force, the old leadership, right? But they've brought him back to do Flash. And the Snyder cultists are still saying WB don't understand the Speed Force. Do you get what do you understand? It's a lie upon a lie. Richie Mo, Superman Returns didn't hit 400 mil though, Mick. But we're not talking about Superman Returns, are we? Superman Returns didn't get a sequel, did it? Because of that reason. So, Hobby 187, I'm not even comparing Shazam to Snyder's film, just action in general. You're telling me of all the great kid films from the 90s and 2000s that the action in Shazam was decent. We're not comparing it with the 90s movies, my friend. We're just talking about a film that people enjoyed, right? We're just talking about a film people enjoyed. Just because the action was different in those 90s movies and in the 2000s, it doesn't mean the Shazam action is bad. Why did those children and families keep on going back to watch the movie, my friend? They liked it. End of story. People just don't want to see one kind of tone all the time. Joel Davis, hi Mickey, can I get a congratulations for passing my driving theory test? Everyone, please congratulate Joel Davies for passing his driving theory test. Congratulations, Joel. The gaming maniac, the WB regime for Superman Returns also wanted them to take Superman's cape away so that he couldn't fly during the movie. Imo, not relevant today, but I just think that's hilarious. Again, different leadership, and it didn't happen, did it? During a film and a development of a film, people have different ideas and madcap thoughts. It doesn't mean anything. If you're making a bun, you might not want a sultana in it. Jesus Christ. Ronnie Dodge, Walter and you guys know the Speed Force, and if people read a comic, Flash Lightning is yellow. If people don't like that in the Flash movie, tough. Yeah, Walter and Andy are actually doing the right Lightning, unlike the previous one, right? Ronnie Dodge, congratulations, Joe. I have mine on the 25th. Night, Joe. I don't think that would happen. Maybe the Snyderverse would be restored, maybe, but insulting WB isn't making them reconsider. Exactly. And even if it does, we won't see anything about it for another 1 to 5 years. Yeah, it looks like there's no. Everything's come out now. WB don't care anymore. There's nothing to say, right? Night, Joel, Phil 1. Richard Moore, you're saying that a Superman movie should do more than Man of Steel when Superman Returns did nearly 300 million less than Man of Steel. Why do you keep on talking about Superman Returns? Everyone accepts the money that made and it didn't get a sequel. What? You're not making any sense, my friend. You're really not. Superman Returns should have made triple what it made. Man of Steel was expected to make over $1 billion. Moments in that film, people didn't go back and watch it and watch it and watch it again. They're the facts. I love Man of Steel, but it didn't appeal to the broader audience. Not because of Superman, but because of Superman breaking a character's neck. And some of the other beats in the film, like Jonathan Kent telling his son to let the kids die on the bus, people didn't like that. They don't feel that's Superman, right? What's the point of going back to Superman Returns, a film that didn't get a sequel? You're not making sense. We will say that film was a failure. WB admit that film was a failure, right? What are you comparing that box office for when it didn't get a sequel and MOS did? They wanted a Superman film should make more money than that. And a Batman and Superman film should be making around $2 billion like Force Awakens did, right? And it didn't come anywhere near that. These people want to make this money. This is a business, Richie, not a charity. They're not here to get a milk bottle and, be charitable to your favorite director, I'm afraid. Ronnie Dodge, to me, I saw BVS 3 times, but general audiences didn't get interested in rewarding value of that movie. No, they didn't. It's not the kind of movie that general audiences are going to be interested in. And I know a lot of people from the Snyder fandom think they don't matter to general audience, but in a business perspective, they matter. And the industry and Warner Brothers Studios, like other studios, are a business. It's not a charity. It's not a charity to fund your favorite director. No other director has been given the opportunity that Zack had to do his film and show us a 4-hour cut. Disney wouldn't have allowed him to do that. No one else, not even fucking Netflix, who you're all kissing butts of right now, would have allowed him to do that. I can assure you. The delusion has to change. The delusion and the narratives are not working. This is the direction we're going. Ronnie Dodge, I can't wait for these 4 movies to be a success, hopefully, and see karma on this so-called DC fan, but really worship Snyder. Richie Mo, I'm on about the character you seem to think a Superman movie should do a bit no matter what. Yes. Superman the movie, these days, if you transfer the currency around, would have made $1 billion, right? In today's money, that film would have made $1 billion, right? Superman the movie is the best Superman movie ever made. Fact. The fans say it. More people love that movie than Man of Steel. That's a fact. People embrace that movie. It's a cultural touchstone moment. Nobody Nobody can deny that. So Warner Brothers spent a lot of money, nearly 300 million on Man of Steel, and they got another 300 million back or so, right? 3.5, yeah, 300, 400. That wasn't enough for them. They're a business. So I still don't understand, Richie. I still don't understand. They get it, sorry. Night Job, plus the whole suck it Warner Brothers. Snyder came out saying on Zack Snyder Late Show advertisement isn't encouraging WB reconsider. Listen, he's saying suck it Warner Brothers because he knows there's no chance now. He knows. It's like a child who doesn't get his own way. Ronnie Dodge, I grew up with Donna Superman and Shazam gave me them feels with the music. I think Shazam, Shazam isn't my favorite superhero movie, but I enjoyed it. But it wasn't for me. It was for the kids. It was for the mum and dads and the kids to see it. That's why it made the money it did. It brought in the bank. It made 3 times more. They spent nearly nothing on the movie. It worked. The performances were great. It worked. So that's it. I deal with fact, not fiction. Superman Returns was a failure. We know it, and it should have made more money. It wasn't good enough to make more money because it was a mishmash of ideas. He wanted to continue the Donnerverse, but it didn't even look like the Donnerverse. There were so many problems with that movie, but even that movie had some fabulous moments. Farabees 456, regardless of whether they restore the Snyderverse, at least they can give us the air cut. I'd love to see the air cut, my friend. I really would. Fabrice 456, it would be significantly less expensive. I would love to see it. I want to see it. Farabees 456, but maybe after the Suicide Squad. Yeah, well after the Suicide Squad. There's no reality of it happening anytime soon, but who knows in the future. Hobby 187, I can't believe you're hedging all your bets on DC Films, who released Wonder Woman 84, Bird of Crap, lol. I wouldn't go so hard for them, Snyder or no Snyder. Well, I've explained to you that those films were irrelevant to their future plan. They knew they were going to reboot the universe. They allowed Margot Robbie to do what she wanted. It was a mess. They needed a male director to come in and save the female director. And instead of, in terms of Wonder Woman 84, Patty Jenkins got the freedom she wanted. And she looks like a very amateur director, and I agree. Jesus is a go. Richie Mo, Shazam cost 100 million and made a total of 366 million. In fact, Shazam cost around 90 million and made 366 million. So that's double its budget, right? We agree there, right? Jesus is a go. Now that Snyder told WB to suck it, Americans will probably never see a physical copy of Zack Snyder's Justice League. And that's a good point. But I've got mine. It's about time us foreigners got something over you Americans, by the way. Ronnie Dodge, I was watching Grace interviewing the VFX guy. She asked if going back in time seen in Zack Snyder's Justice League is similar. And they said no comment, which makes me excited. Hang on. Let's say that again. I was watching Grace interviewing the VFX guy. She asked if the going back in time scene in Zack Snyder's Justice League is similar. And they said no comment, which makes me excited. Yeah, it gets me excited too. Farrah Breeze 456. I like how most directors consider Zack's universe. James Wan and Jason Momoa said that Aquaman is a continuation of Snyder, not Joss. Yeah. And I think James consulted with Zack as well, which was great. Hotbeat 187. Mick, do you own Shazam? I own the Blu-ray. Yes, I actually have the, what do you call it? What do they call it? The special ones when it's in the tin. I actually got 2 copies of Shazam. Thoroughbreeze 456 and Patty Jenkins said she too doesn't consider the Joss Whedon version canon, despite that what WB says. Hotbeat 187 Steelbook. Yes, I've got the Steelbook of Shazam. It's a really, really good, entertaining film that I had a lot of enjoyment in watching. I thought Zachary was sensational. I thought the young lad playing the younger character was great. I thought Freddie Freeman was my favorite character. And I love that this kid was obsessed with Superman and Batman. And for him to get to see Superman at the end and Shazam walking into the mess hall was a beautiful moment. Night Job, Big Mouth. I agree. You don't insult a company you're wanting to work with if you're wanting to make more movies with them to continue in a shape or form. He knows he's not going to be working with them. That's why he's acting like that. But yeah, I agree. Ronnie Dodge, the thing is, both versions of Justice League won't be canon after the Flash. They won't. Nothing in the DCEU, nothing on my radiator there. I've got all the films lined up on my radiator there. None of those films will be canon anymore. That's why Shazam has got a new costume in the sequel. It's obvious, right? But those movies won't be forgotten, but it's going to be rebooted. And these DC characters we're going to see in this movie from multiple DC timelines will now be canon, as well as the existing characters played by the existing actors. Farrah Breeze 456 also, would it kill for WB to apologise to the cast of Justice League now Fisher, Gadget and Momoa have come out with their experiences? Do you know what? What difference does it make? Do you realise, have you ever been on a set before? Do you realise what goes on a set? Let me try and explain to you. Actually, hang on. I've got a few comments, but I'm going to come back to you. The Gaming Maniac, honestly, that's a shame. That's nothing will be canon after Flash. There was so much potential history that could have been fleshed out. Oh, well. Ronnie Dodge, could the Flash be a way of bringing Steve Trevor back into Wonder Woman? Yep. It's, Chris Pine is one of the last movie stars this industry's got. So that's the advantage of all of this. Right, let's go back to Fabrice. Right. I don't know if you've been on a movie set before or a TV drama set or anything. There's a lot of people around. It's very stressful. Now, I want to paint you a picture, right, of what happened during the reshoot. Joss Whedon was told, you have to release this film the same time Zack was going to release his. He had to reshoot, rewrite. The actors were they were giving him as bad as he was giving them. They hated each other and they weren't being supportive towards him. And he wasn't being supportive back. It was a clusterfuck of a decision to bring him in the first place. But those people are not involved in the DCEU anymore. So I don't know what an apology will do. You want Walter Hamada to apologise to the cast when he wasn't even there? What good does an apology do? Because Lord Fisher wants an apology. The Gaming Maniac, honestly, that's a shame that nothing... Oh, no, I've read that. Nightjaw, it's a bit of a shame it won't be canon, but hopefully they learn from what Snyder's plan was and do their own take on it. I think so. Jeff Hill, do you like Jeff Johns' Big Mouth? I don't know Jeff Johns. You don't know Jeff Johns. I don't know what kind of a man he is. So as a person, I neither like him or dislike him. But as a creative, Jeff Johns started with nothing. Nothing. He came from nowhere. He became Richard Donner's runner and worked his way into comics. So in terms of his career, I have a lot of respect for him, yes. Farrah Breeze 456, I understand what Joss was put under, but still, some of the stuff Ray has said is kind of weird. Even Ray doesn't really blame Joss, but rather WB. But you know what? It's nothing, unfortunately, actors are treated badly. They're treated as a commodity, and it isn't good. I'm a trained actor. It isn't good. But unfortunately, this generation that thinks that everyone should be put in handcuffs for everything wrong they do, that's not how the real world works. We shouldn't even know about this stuff. Rival or outshine his plan. That's from Nightjaw. I don't understand that. The Gaming Maniac. Well, Toby is, to be fair, and Walter wasn't there, but he did try to save face for Jeff and apparently tried to hide Berg's troublesome nature under the rug. Call the police. Whatever Walter did, he did under orders from the studio. You can't blame Walter for that. Ronnie Dodge, it's a shame Fisher and Snyder don't apologise about saying about private conversations. Exactly. Hotbeat 187 Mick, have you seen any of Andy Machiete's films? No, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen the It movies, but apparently they're very good movies. And I like him. I just like the way he conducts himself. And I'm happy he's involved. I love the way he, told us about Sasha Calais being Supergirl. And I think the way he did it was amazing. Richie Moore, I own Shazam on Blu-ray and I enjoyed it a lot. I like Greek and Roman gods and myths, but I think they should all have saved the Shazam family for the sequel. And I wish that actually fitted his costume better. Ronnie Dodge, Zach didn't have anything to do with Shazam. Anyway, Ronnie Dodge, I've seen both It movies and they're great, but the first one is better. Farrah Breeze 456, Ronnie Dodge, private conversations, but what did Zach say regarding this? He was not involved in this, was he? Ray is the one who is coming out. But did Zack Snyder push his buttons for Breeze 456? Nitro, other people's plans rivaling Snyder's DCEU plans. Sorry, I didn't specify. Fair enough. Laughing MOJ. I tell you what, I think this is the best conversations we've had in a long time. And it proves if the title of the video is interesting enough, people will get involved. I think the thing is, whether you think you're right or wrong, or whether you think Snyder was badly treated or he wasn't or whatever, it's happened. I think both parties should have tried harder to work with each other. It didn't work. We have new leadership and they have a plan to bring a broader audience to this IP. And in a business sense, it's the right thing to do. But I am saddened that I won't see the conclusion of the Snyderverse. So they all should have conducted themselves in better ways. There's no right and wrong here. They all should have behaved a lot better. The audience, Nightjob, Big Mouth, agreed, thank you. Well, you see, the audience think they know what goes into making a film because they've seen a few DVD extras, I'm afraid. They think they know all sides of the story and they judge things, but it's very difficult because the internet means everyone can talk about stuff, but you'll never know what it takes. George, I'm sorry, as soon as Ray went after Walter Hamada, that crossed the line for me. Walter wasn't there. He was trying to get a movie universe to work. Agreed, Ronnie. Couldn't agree more. I feel the same way. Richie Mo, Zachary Levi was Shazam and Billy Batson, not Zack Snyder. I liked the Shazam suit, but obviously it was over padded because Zack hadn't worked out as much and maybe his body couldn't be worked out more. But I think in the next movie with the new suit, I think they've solved those things. So I'm not kind of phased by that. It still looks great. The suit still looks great, padding and all. It worked for me. Farrah Breeze 456. Ronnie Dodge. Yeah, Walter wasn't originally involved in this drama. It is weird to blame him. I think Ray's basically saying that Hamada is defending them. Hamada is doing what Ray. You've got to understand here. Ray's going after Walter when he knows damn well he was just doing what the studio told him to do. Is he supposed to sacrifice his job for Ray Fisher and Ray Fisher's agenda? Of course he's not. He did what his bosses told him to do, which was trying to defend the narrative. That's it. You can't blame Hamada for wanting to keep his job. So why is Ray Fisher going directly after Hamada? Could it be because he's Asian? Seems a bit weird, right? Hotbeat 187, the second It movie is wank though, and Mama is crap too, and that's what scares me about the Flash movie, and the script being written by the same woman who wrote Birds of Prey and Bumblebee. I think they're fair enough concerns, my friend. Fabrice 456, Hobby 187. Andy made the It movies, which, well, the first is fantastic and the second one is okay. Look, Walter Hamada put Andy in charge of the most important film in DC history for a reason. He trusts him. And I think the reveal of Sasha was so amazing. And I just got a good feeling about this. Now, I could be wrong. I'm never going to say I'm not wrong ever. I haven't seen the film. You haven't seen the film. Let's at least give them a chance. Richie Bro, what TV or movie work have you done, bro? Right, so I work here in Cyprus. I am developing the first English-speaking dramas here on Cypriot TV. And that's what I've done. So I'm not a Hollywood superstar. I am not famous. I did a reality show over here in Cyprus and a very portable camera thingy thing, not a big deal. So I'm developing things, English-speaking dramas right now here in the little island of Cyprus. Jesus is a goat. Do you think a race swap Superman movie will make $1 billion? Well, you don't know that the black Superman is a race swap. Jesus is a goat. It could be President Superman, who's already an existing black character in the DC universe. We don't know yet. So, but potentially, if it's a good film and it's a good version of Superman, why not Jesus is a goat? Why not? Hobby187, I hope you're right, because DC needs a big hit role. And I love DC comics and novels. Exactly, Hobby187. We who are real DC fans don't want failure to prove Snyder's point. We want DC films to be great and awesome and epic and successful so we can get more. Farabreeze 456. Mick, how excited are you for the Batman? Rate your excitement out of 10. 10, 200, 20. This is one of the best filmmakers we have today. He loves the comics. He studied the comics. He's not just creating the Batman here. He's redefining and reforming his own Earth. This is Earth 2. It's all his to play with, and I'm really excited. Ronnie Dodge, yeah, I think Marvel should be nervous if they make any mistakes next year that the DCEU has better movies next year. I think our slate is a lot more exciting than theirs, Ronnie. Nightjar, I could understand if Ray Fisher went for Whedon. After all, that was where the conflict started. But I don't really understand why he went for Hamada, aside from the only reason being he's in charge. Yeah, as I say, I don't want to go into the race situation between Asian people and black people because I don't want to upset anyone. But all I'm saying is it seems a bit suspicious why he's so in for. And the stuff he said about Hamada was outrageous. Farabreeze 456, I agree, Mick's excitement for the Batman. Yeah, I have no concerns over the Batman. The people involved, the director, Matt Reeves, as I said, is in his own Earth too. He's going to create his own Superman, Wonder Woman, all of this is a whole universe he's creating. And there are rumors that Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is part of this. If this is true, then take me to Earth 2, baby. Farabreeze 456 Nightjaw, he went after Whedon and Johns, though, so yeah, but he's also weirdly after Hamada, yeah. Is it a race thing? Is it a race thing? Jeff Hill, Big Mouth, what do you think of Joker 2 news? Will it include Batman? I think it will include, look, it could do different things. It depends how big the time jump will be. It could be a younger Bruce Wayne time jumped. It could be Batman. It could be anything. It might not be a Joker sequel. They might be calling it a Joker sequel, but it might be the next villain origin movie, which also would be exciting. What all villains would you love to see in the future of the Batman trilogy? Mr. Freeze. Ronnie Dodge, maybe we are going to see the Multiverse Justice League at the end of The Flash. That's my theory, that the Justice League, the new Justice League, Andy Machete's Justice League, will be a Multiverse Justice League led by President Superman. How awesome if the Black Superman actually appears in Flash. Richie Mo, it's disheartening everything that has happened with Zack and DC. And I love Zack's movies, but I'm a DC fan through and through, and I want it to succeed. That's great, Richie, because that's what we all want. I agree with you. I love Zack Snyder's DC films. You know I do. Anyone who follows me. But I talk with a balance. I also talk about how I love his films, but how Warner Brothers as a business and a studio must reach a broader audience. So I'm not speaking with hate for Snyder. When I get a bit angry about what's going on, it's towards the acolytes more than anything, because they wind me up with their false narratives. Nightjaw, Farabreeze 456, Mr. Freeze, definitely. I agree. Jesus is a goat. What did you think about JSA World War II animated movie? Do you know what? I can't even remember if I reviewed it. I don't think I did. I loved it. I thought it was a sensational movie. That's one of the best ones I've seen thus far. I thought it was an amazing Jesus is a goat. Farabreeze 456, the Batman can't be in the same universe as the Joker, could it? The movie takes place in modern day where Joker takes in the 80s. Arthur would be old as hell. Yeah, he would be old. Right, what are we going to say? He's about 25, 30, right? So if that's when was that set in the 80s, right? So 90, 2000, that would be 20 years. He'd probably be like 60 or 65. So he'd be an older Joker. So I'm not saying it's a true thing, but it'll be interesting, wouldn't it? Comedy video 3. Who is your favourite Spider-Man? Tobey Maguire, my friend. What Sam Raimi did with those first 2 movies, and I don't mind Spider-Man 3, by the way. I'm not a hater of that. I just think it's an amazing series. And yes, I don't care that he didn't have web blasters. I actually like the natural way they come out of his arms. So I think Tobey Maguire is my favourite Spider-Man. And I think Tobey Maguire and Andy, what's his name? Andy, the other Spider-Man, will be Sony's Spider-Man going forward after No Way Home. Rishi Mo, I think a Poison Ivy origin would be amazing. Yeah, everyone's shouting out for Poison Ivy. I think we'll get her eventually for sure. And I mean, hopefully she's hot. Then Margot Robbie and her can just make out. Margot Robbie wouldn't like that, though, because Margot Robbie doesn't like toxic masculinity. But us males, our minds are in the bin, right? So why deny it? Nightjaw, so is that Batman film coming out its own thing, or is it meant to be following from Batman Year 1? It's Batman Year 2, and the Gotham PD spin-off from that movie will be Batman Year 1. So it's all part of the same thing. Ronnie Dodge, what makes me laugh? We stole Keaton back from Marvel back home to DC where he belongs, and I can't wait to see him don the Batman costume again. Neither can I. Farrah Breeze 456, what do you think of the first The Amazing Spider-Man? I think it's quite underrated, and some scenes, like most of Aunt May and Peter's scenes, have amazing writing and acting. Listen, when you've got Sally Field, you know, fucking, have you seen the state of the Aunt Bay we've got in, you know, Tom Holland's Spider-Man? Jesus Christ. I mean, it's ridiculous. But Sally Fields, the lady from Maguire's Spider-Man, they're perfect. And you're right. Amazing Spider-Man is an underrated film. I don't like those films as much as Tobey's films, but I think they're much better than what the MCU are giving us. So I think the MCU will keep Tom Holland, and I think this Sony Marvel universe, which is more interesting to me than what they're doing over at Marvel, will include Andy Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man going forward. Nightjaw, okay. Ronnie Dodge, I do like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but I wish he wasn't so attached to Iron Man, but I do prefer Tobey's Spider-Man. I like Tom Holland as an actor. I like him in Civil War, but the other Spidey movies, nah. Jeff Hill, who's your fave Batman? Oh, Christian Bale. Christian Bale. I thought I had to think about it, but I don't. Christian Bale. Christian Bale nailed it. Christopher Nolan nailed it. All in Batman Begins. That's my favourite one. Amazing film. Comedy videos 3. Do you wish Spider-Man 4 happened? Absolutely, yes. I wanted Tobey to carry on. I wanted Sam to go on. And just because Spider-Man, I don't think the Sony. I think Sony were too quick to bin them. Ronnie Dodge, Bale is my favourite Batman, but they could change. That could change next year. Yes, it's going to be interesting. Nitro, I'm honestly hoping for Sony to do their own thing. It's a lot more intriguing than him being another asset in the MCU. Exactly. Look, if Sony set up a great Marvel universe, should I say, I'm ready to embrace something but the MCU. And it's just great that Sony own these other characters, because I'm just fed up of these watered-down, generic franchise. I'd rather Matt Reeves cast a new Joker, and judging by how the Riddler looks, his Joker would be scary as fuck. That's very true. Jesus is a go. I read an article that Margot Robbie is pushing for a Poison Ivy character in a movie with Harley. Margot Robbie, since Birds of Prey, doesn't get to push for anything. No, I love Poison Ivy, but she doesn't get to influence anyone anymore. Farrah Breeze 456. Who's your favourite actor in the DCEU? Mine's Affleck's Batman. Margot Robbie as Harley and Zachary Levi as Shazam. My favourite actor in the that's an interesting one in the DCEU. It's either going to be Henry Cavill or Amy Adams, I think. Although Zod was amazing as well, wasn't he? Ronnie Dodge, I just had a thought. With the aftermath, Flash, could we see Gal wearing a new costume? We could do. Richie Moe, John Malkovich as the Vulture in Raimi's Spider-Man 4 would have been fantastic. Would have been. Ronnie Dodge, I love that the new still of the Suicide Squad from yesterday's Polka Dot Man looks so uncomfortable being there. Yes, that was an interesting picture, wasn't it? I earlier showed off the new Harley Quinn toy from the Suicide Squad. She looks tremendous. I think we've got 5 more minutes, everyone. I started a bit late tonight. My takeaway didn't get here on time. Nightjaw, Henry Cavill's Superman, just perfect. Cast followed very close by Ben Affleck, Batman. He grew on me. Yeah, we haven't. It's weird. It seems like we haven't had a lot of Affleck, but we've pretty much had as much Affleck, maybe more, than Cavill. Ronnie Dodge, I want that statue. Where's Bobcat? Bobcat's gone missing. I think I've upset him or something. I think Bobcat gets bored unless you're talking about Harley Quinn and the Suicide Squad. Ronnie Dodge, I'm currently eating fish and chips. Yum, absolutely. I had a doner kebab and I've got to stop eating them. I wonder if Americans eat fish and chips. Nightjaw, hopefully Bobcat's okay. Yeah, hopefully. Jesus is a goat. What time is it where you are at? The time now is 9:35 p.m. So it's probably during the day where you are. I'm in the UK, it's about 7:30, isn't it? So to a lot of people, these videos start early, you see, but obviously because I basically do these videos after my dinner. Jesus is a goat. Yes, 2 fish and chips. Awesome. There's nothing like fish and chips or chicken and chips. Ronnie Dodge, well, no offense to Americans, they can't make a decent cup of tea. I mean, who puts milk first, lol? Farabreeze 456, which character would you play if you could join the DCEU? Lex Luthor. That's easy. I love Lex. Ever since I saw what they did with him in Smallville, I love that fucking character and I could do so much with him. He's such an intense, interesting character. Jesus is a go. Yeah, it's 2 p.m. in North Carolina. Oh, Carolina. Nightjaw, Ronnie Dodge. Yes, I put my tea bag in, then 1 sugar, then my milk, then the water. I hate putting the milk last. I hate it. Winds me up. Ronnie Dodge, as it's you, Mick, I'll let you off. I always put milk last. Rishi Moe, at least we have Snyder's amazing casting choices moving forward, and Momoa and Gadot are quality, and Ezra was great in the Snyder Cut, and I hope The Flash is good. Yes, so do I. We're going to have to wait and see. Obviously, no trailers yet. They've only been filming for just over a month. So we've got a lot to look forward to, though. It's exciting times. And as I say, the upcoming slate for the DCEU, the next 5 films, are very interesting. And then we've got the HBO Max stuff like Green Lantern Corps, which is exciting. Peacemaker, Gotham PD. So it's all interesting. Look, we're going into a strange new world without Snyder. It's like, you know, trying to walk as a baby without your stabilizers. Marcus Walker, Mickey, as an Elseworlds Lex needs to happen, I'll have a word with Walter at the golf club. Awesome. I'd love to play Lex Luthor. I just think he's an interesting character. I don't think there's a more interesting character you can play. And I mean, I loved how Rosenbaum played him in Smallville. I don't think anyone's touched what he's done. Ronnie Dodge, I feel The Flash will continue from the Snyder Cut because of what the VFX guy said last night. Yeah, I think it's interesting. It is interesting. And an important thing, if we're making the Snyder Cut canon until they reboot the universe, of course, that means he'll still have the same rule from the Snyder Cut, which is he doesn't like to break the speed of light. He doesn't like to time travel. That's his one rule in the Snyder Cut. So he's going to have to break. He's broken his rule once in the Snyder Cut because he broke it in that film. He's going to, justify to himself why he can do it again to save his mother's life. Nightjaw, Richie Mo definitely would love to see more of Gadot, Momoa, and Ezra. It's interesting with Gadot. Is she going to want to work without Jenkins? Because, well, she'd be dumb not to, but it's interesting. But I think the friendship between her and Patty is all fake and bullshit anyway, isn't it? I mean, it's Hollywood. So, few more messages, then I have to go, unfortunately. We've been on air for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. Not bad. As I say, I was a little bit late because my take. It's been a great stream. The comments have been great. Passionate debate, which is what I want without people getting carried away. It was awesome. And I forgot. Manchester City versus Chelsea in the Champions League final. Forgot all about that. I can't even watch it. But if I could watch it on a screen, I'd probably do a watch-along. But can't do that, so hey, I'll keep tabs of the score. It's going to be interesting. Ronnie Dodge, I can't imagine what Nora's reaction will be once she learns Barry went back in time to save her. She's probably going to advise him to go back. But whatever happens, once he goes forward or back to save her, when he goes back, it will never be the same again. So he doesn't purposely reboot the universe, but that's what he does anyway. Richie Mo, I'm anticipating Aquaman 2 and The Flash more than anything else. But if they do Shazam 2 and Black Adam more fantasy-based, and I'll be happy chappy. I'm really looking forward to Black Adam as well. I think that's the movie with the Justice Society of America. I'm really looking forward to that film. Ronnie Dodge, did you see that the actress who plays Iris got an Iris candle? I love her. I love her. She's a bit of a character. She's a bit of a wild card, that one. And I love her. And yes, she got the Iris candle, which I thought was a great touch. Marcus Walker, have you seen the DCEU ranking in the latest issue of Empire? They put Birds of Prey and Wonder Woman 84 above BVS and MOS, Shazam and Joker. Well, obviously, Joker isn't part of the DCEU, but you should never read those publications. When I see these rankings by these are idiots, right, trying to kiss studio asses. Birds of Prey and Wonder Woman 84 at the bottom of the pile. It doesn't matter what order you put them in. But I probably prefer Wonder Woman 84 more than Birds of Prey, but it doesn't really fucking matter. So, yeah, my DCEU rankings are always going to be my DCEU rankings. And I probably would put Wonder Woman 2017. I would put Snyder Cut first, Wonder Woman 2017 second, Man of Steel next, Batman versus Superman next. I'm trying to think what I would do. I can't see the films. I'd probably put Aquaman after that, Suicide Squad after that. Something like that anyway. Thoroughbreeze 456. I'm happy they decided to bring back Kiersey Clemens as Iris for The Flash. DJ, the VFX supervisor. Kiersey Clemens. There's some Snyder stuff there, isn't there? So before people send fake propaganda about WB, think about that for a minute. Nightjaw, Marcus Walker. Oof. Ronnie Dodge, I'm excited for Black Adam because I love ancient Egypt stuff. I'm just excited for the character and the JSA. Dr. Fate especially, very exciting. Anyway, everyone, I have to go now. Parting is a sweet sorrow. Thank you for all your comments. You've been absolutely fantastic. I will be back tomorrow morning, hopefully by 9 a.m. on the dot, so I don't keep you lot waiting for the Big Mouth Daily Live. Richie Mo, like I said before, Mick, we can argue and get passionate about DC, but after all, it's said and done. We are the DC family, and I love you all, whether they like Snyder or not. We need to stick together. Couldn't agree more, Richie Mo. Well said. Fabrice 456. Good night, Mick. Good night, John Bye. Good night, Mary Ellen. Yeah. Good night, Fabrice. Thank you, 456. Thank you very much. Ronnie Dodge. Yeah, definitely. The JSA being in the movie. Ronnie Dodge. See you tomorrow, mate. See you tomorrow, everyone. Don't forget. Ferrabees456, Richie Mo, well said. Yeah, so basically, remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and you can catch me tomorrow morning from 9 a.m. UK time for the Big Mouth Daily Live. If there's lots of articles to read, we'll read them and discuss the headlines. If there's no articles, we'll just have a bit of a chit chat like we did tonight. Night, Jaw. See you tomorrow, mate. See you tomorrow. I'll see you again soon, everyone. Thank you for turning up. Thanks for the support. It's been an absolutely fantastic stream, and it's probably been my favourite one yet. So thank you, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow.